Hey, how's everybody doing, man? Thanks, man. How y'all doing? Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody here, man. I got a black magic woman. I got a black magic woman. I got a black magic woman. She's got me so blind I can't see. I got a black magic woman and she's trying to make a devil out of me. Don't cast your spell on me, baby. Don't cast your spell on me, baby. Don't cast your spell on me, baby. You got me so blind I can't see. 'Cause you're a black magic woman and you're gonna make a devil out of me. Thanks, guys. Thanks, man. Let's see. Crazy, but that's how it goes. That's a good song, man. I like it. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. Get tuned up. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I know what Yeah, so that's all the things you are, man. Something like that, yeah. That's all the things you are, man. So it's like, so all the things you are, man. It's like a jazz standard. I was just goofing around with it. Yeah, I used to play all that stuff, man. Jazz standards, yeah. Cool stuff, ain't it? checking me out. It makes me feel good, man. Really. I appreciate that. And my song of the night I always play. thanks, Kay. Glad you all liked it, man. How's everybody doing tonight, man? Playing a lot of stuff, man. Playing a lot of music. Wish I had a woman here singing, man. Because I one of the songs I like, I'm gonna play the rhythm to it, and it's really cool. It's just rhythm, but it's really cool, man. It's a really cool song. It was done by Heart. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the rock group Heart, but I love them. And I don't just play lead all the time. I play rhythm. I play what fits. And if I'm with a band, I play what fits, man. I don't want to just all the time, man. You know what I mean? You ever been to a show like that where just one musician just solos all through the friggin' show? I don't want to see that. I want to see an entire band make music where the entire band's complemented. But anyway, this is. playing that a lot. I want to hear the new stuff that Stevie Nicks is going to come out with. I was a huge, I still am, a huge Fleetwood Mac fan. You know, when they were going, I followed them all around. I loved their music. I loved all everybody in that band was just fantastic, and I missed that so much. So I'm looking forward to see what Stevie Nicks comes up with, man, because she's always been great, and I love that woman. I think she's a wonderful woman. Um, she's a legend, and I'm a loyal fan for the rest of my life. I think she's really great. So anyway, What does it make it break down? Shatter your illusions of love. And is it over now? Do you know how? Pick up the pieces and go home. I love you, Stevie Nicks. Man, I love that chick. I love that woman. She's amazing. What a wonderful contribution Stevie Nicks gave to us, man. I love her music. I think she's so wonderful. Yeah, cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. Yep, absolutely. Since I'm playing rock songs, don't you? Hey, thanks to everybody for checking me out, man. Oh, it takes practice, Kay. It's like you can, you can, you can with practice. The main thing that you got to learn when you first start playing the guitar that you got to get out of. If you're learning how to make C, one finger here, one finger here, one finger here. Okay. Once you get that down, practice just dropping your fingers right on C like that without even thinking. You should be able to drop your fingers right in that position without even thinking. Same thing with G. You learn one finger at a time, right? Get to where you can just drop it. Now you know C and G. Then you do it with D, one finger at a time, right? Learning. Then you get to where you just sit around doing that. Just changing chords like that. And then just learn all your chords like that and get to where you sit around and just change chords. Just strumming while you're changing chords. And you'll get to where you can play rhythm. That's how you get to where you play rhythm. And then you just kind of keep progressing from there. And everything's online now. And you can learn how to play. You can learn how to. I've heard people tell me, "Oh, I'll never learn how to play the guitar." Yes, you can. You can learn. It's just your mindset. You got to get the right mindset. Get out of this one finger at a time crap. Don't do that. Get to where you just drop your fingers into that chord. That's how you start. First, you learn all your major chords. Get to where you just drop straight into the chord, right? And then after you get to where you can play all the major chords, then start working a little bit on simple lead solos, not complex, simple lead solos. And then come back to your chords and just progressively keep increasing your knowledge of chords. At least get to where you can play really cool rhythms. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, if you really pursue it, you can get to where you can play really great lead too. It's just how much dedication, how much you want to do it, how much time you spend on it. So yes, anybody can learn how to play the guitar. It's got, if you got, unfortunately, there's handicapped people who don't have the five fingers. And I wish I could help them. I wish we had a technology that would give everybody five fingers and don't have them. Understand? So, but we're not there yet. But anyway, anybody who has fingers can learn how to play the guitar. You can, you know. I had a girl one time tell me that I could learn how to play saxophone, but I never could. Now that's something I never could get, man. The saxophone. I was in music class. I was in high school, and I went in and I was trying to play the saxophone. Now, no matter how hard I blew into that thing, I couldn't get a noise to come out of it. And then walks this little girl, barely 5 feet tall, playing jazz on the damn thing like an 8 month. And I was like, "How do you do that?" And she's, "Oh, it's easy for you." Imagine that you're trying to. I never could understand how anybody could play the saxophone, man. Because, man, I tried. I really tried. I love the saxophone. I love the way it sounds and stuff. So that's my second instrument that I really love is the saxophone. I like the bass too. I can play decent bass. I'm not really what you call a bass player, but I can play bass well enough to where I can cover things. Nobody really knows if I'm playing. If I could play bass for a band, and they would say I was a pretty decent bass player, which I'm not. There's an art to playing bass, man. It takes really a lot of dedication. You see these bass players now that can pop the strings and pop all the strings and do all this crazy stuff. I can never learn how to do, but that's because there's an art to it. It's just as hard as playing a regular guitar. The bass is actually played, if you play it the proper way, is played much differently than the way a guitar is played. So I give props to bass players because that's a skill, different type of skill, and it takes very much the same type of dedication to learn how to do that. Play bass. And I love the sound of a bass, man. I love bass players. You know. So guitar, six string guitar is my my instrument. But I love the saxophone just as much, man. But I could never play a saxophone. And I love to hear a saxophone players, though, man. Like it's playing songs and souls and stuff. I love the way they sound. They're really cool instruments. I always thought they were cool. So anyway, I hope I put on a pretty good show for y'all tonight, man. I was like, I try to. I don't have no background music, no band playing with me, nothing. It's just me, man, on the guitar trying to sound good. And that's not easy to do, man, for anybody. Anybody I tell you, man, just coming out with a guitar and no background music, nothing backing you up. That's much harder to do than somebody who has background music. And I don't want to play with background music. I want to see what I can do. I want to see how good I can sound, just me playing by myself with no background music and all that. I've got songs on my YouTube channel where I use background music and it sounds really great, but I can play. Look up my funky guitar. It's like funky guitar on my channel, and I use backup music in that. And there's a lot of stuff on my channel where I do play with backup music uh, in my earlier stuff. But since I've been doing this live stuff, I just want to keep it me. I don't want to play with no background, nothing, man. I just want to come out here and be creative and see what I can come up with. And I think it's pretty cool, man. It's a good way to write new songs and come up with new material, man, and be original. So that's one of the things that I discovered doing this. You know, kind of I'm trying to like promote other musicians to try doing this too because it actually does help a person to become a better musician if they can come on here, if they can make a video without any background music, anything, and just play the guitar or an instrument, make it work, make it sound good, then they know they're getting somewhere in music. 'Cause- and that's what I've been trying to do, man. Just come on here and just play. I play one song right after the other. Unfortunately, I can't get everybody's requests, but I do play some. Sometimes I do requests, a little bit, try to get it done. I really, when I started out doing this, I wanted to just play jazz, because I really been trying to concentrate on getting my jazz skills up to where I want them. Because when I get a band started, we're gonna play a combination of rock and jazz, and I want to make sure my jazz is tight. I love rock, but it's quite a bit easier to play than jazz, man. Jazz is very difficult to play, you know. So that's why I've been doing that. That's why I started doing this, man. Just come online and just get my jazz skills up, and it's just me playing, no background, nothing, man. So you got to give me credit, man. For if it's just me playing with no background or anything, it's pretty good. Just for not having any background music, to back me up. um, and to keep going like that. When I come on here, I play. I always start out. I always play for an hour straight. I want to always play for an hour straight. Sometimes I'll do it for 2 hours straight. If I'm really in the mood to play, I'll play for 2 hours straight, man. But I always come on and play for about an hour straight, maybe a little over an hour, and chat for a while and stuff. Talk to different people and things like that. Because I like meeting different people, and getting different opinions and meeting people from all over the world. I love that. I love meeting people who different are from different ethnic backgrounds, and I just love all people. And I think it's cool that people from all over the world have been checking me out and stuff. And I've had conversations with people from China, Afghanistan, Spain, Germany, uh, Brazil, Ireland, man, Portugal, all over the place, man. You know, um, Poland, everywhere, man. I've had people come from all over the place. Russia, one guy was from Moscow was on here last night. I thought that was cool, man. So just kind of get an audience for everybody. I love all people the same. I think we're all the same. But I've had people from where was it? I even had a couple of people. I had one person who's from Madagascar, and I'm like, wow, cool, man. You know, In India, I get a lot of people from India, man. Great people. I love the food. I love the art. India, all the spices and stuff like that came from India, man. Um, the Italians, man. The Italians, Marco Polo, man, traveled to India to get the spices. Everybody knows about that. That's how the Italians got spices, man. Italy, they wouldn't have spices if it weren't for India. India had it before anybody, man. So their food, they have very spicy food. I love spice, man. The taste of that is good, really cool. So, so yeah, man, it's good culture. Good, they got good culture, good food, good people. Yeah, even music. I like Indian music. I like everything they do. I think they're really amazingly talented people. So it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, it's good to meet different people everywhere, man. I just want to. Yeah, I wish I had the money to travel all those places. I would go to all those places, with the exception of like, I don't want to go to a country and then get put thrown in prison for some weird shit or something. 'Cause they do weird shit sometimes when you go into a strange country. And they might not like you. Not everybody might not like you. So I don't want to do that. But I can imagine going to Russia. And I like Russian people. I've met a lot of Russian people who are good people, but I can imagine going to Russia and have a joint in my suitcase, a marijuana joint in my suitcase, and then they tell me I'm going to get 15 years in prison for having a joint. Yeah, what? Oh, no, I don't want to go to prison. Yeah, but yeah, man. Japan. I'd love to go to Japan too, but you can't. That it's very illegal, marijuana and stuff like marijuana is very illegal in Japan, but yet alcohol is legal. I don't understand that. I mean, alcohol is so much worse for you than marijuana, you know. But but my dad went there when he was in the Navy, and he said he drank that sake stuff, man. He said that knock you on your butt, sake. So he went to Japan, man. He was telling me about drinking sake, man. He said that stuff will knock you on your butt. I actually have never tried sake. I don't drink now, but so I guess I'm never going to get to try it because I don't touch alcohol now. But back when I was much younger, I did drink. I never got to try sake. I'm sure it was very strong. Though. It must be something like moonshine. I'm not sure what it is. It must be something like moonshine. But I'd like to go there. Oh, Killer Queen K. Yeah, it's a good song. I actually never learned how to play it though. I can't say that I learned how to play that song, but I'll check. Oh my god, I have to check into that. Excuse me. I have to check into that. Maybe and try and learn how to learn it. Because we never actually. I was in a hard rock band. We never actually played any Queen, but I do like the music. We just never actually played any of that stuff. So I'll come on here when I'm gonna get a distortion pedal pretty soon. I'm gonna come on here and do some rock stuff for y'all. Show you what I know in rock. A lot of Black Sabbath. I played a lot of Black Sabbath. Into the Void, Killing Yourself to Live, all that stuff, man. I used to play everything by Black Sabbath. Sabotage, everything, man. That was a great band, wasn't it? Black Sabbath, man. I loved them. Led Zeppelin and all. Of course, it's Essential Led Zeppelin, Heart, Essential Heart, Fleetwood Mac. Those were all the legendary bands in the 1970s that I grew up around. I got to see them, and everybody loved them, man. I seen Fleetwood Mac, I seen Led Zeppelin, I seen Black Sabbath, I seen Aerosmith, Blur Cult, UFO, um, Uriah Heep, Bad Company, the Stones. I grew up in it. I even seen Janis Joplin when I was a little kid. She was great. I didn't get a chance to see Hendrix though, man. I always wanted to see Hendrix, and the guy went and died on me. I hate that he died, man. He was great, man. I loved his music. I just didn't get to go see him in concert. But there was a lot of great rockers back then. April Wine. Somebody brought up April Wine. Asked me if I liked April Wine. I loved that band. They were great, fantastic. You know, I seen them before. And we used to go roller skating and they played April Wine, that album. They basically played a whole album, man. We loved it. We'd roller skate to the music, man. It was really cool. She's a high roller, all that stuff, man. Gypsy Queen, all that good music, man. That was good music, man. Yeah, that was a fantastic band. April Wine, they were just out of this world, man. Good. But that's what you had back then. You had people who actually knew how to play music. I miss that. Seen the James Gang a long, long time ago, early '70s, Funk '49. All that stuff they did. And then I seen Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way. Joe Walsh came out with a solo album, Rocky Mountain Way, and all that stuff. I got all of his solo albums. He was great. Then he joined the Eagles. Joe Walsh joined the Eagles. I was a big Ted Nugent fan. And I'll tell you, man, I hate to cuss, but I got straight up pissed off at Paul Gilbert for trying to make fun of Ted Nugent, man. Ted is a legend, and and his music was fantastic, man. And for Paul to do that, man, it just wasn't fair, man. You know, Ted's never claimed to be the best guitar player in the world. Although he is one of the best, he's never claimed that. He said, his thing was writing music and putting and making cool music that was great. He wasn't like Paul Gilbert's, always trying to show. Man, I don't much care for him after he did that. It really pissed me off pretty bad, dude. I mean, why would he go on there and make fun of Ted Nugent, man? I was such a big Ted Nugent. I still am a big Ted Nugent fan. I think Ted Nugent is fantastic, man. And this dude's gonna try to disrespect Ted Nugent, man. He kind of lost. I was a fan of Paul's until he did that, man. He kind of lost a fan when he did that. He really did. Because I don't understand that at all, man. Why would you try to make fun of somebody like that? I think, you know, Ted is fantastic. You know, my favorite Aerosmith album is "Get Your Wings," man. I mean, I love all their stuff, but my favorite album by Aerosmith is "Get Your Wings," man. That was just the coolest album right there, man. You can't beat that one. Listen to "Get Your Wings" and tell me that's not cool. That is cool, man. Space and time, child of mine. I love that stuff, man. Yeah. Seasons of Wither was on there. Train kept it rolling. Um, Same old song and dance. Yeah, man, that's a kick-ass album, man. Get your Aerosmith, "Get Your Wings." That's a kick-ass album. In my opinion, their best album. I mean, I love everything. Toys in the Attic was great. All that Dream On and all that stuff. I love all the other stuff too. But my very, very favorite album by Aerosmith, and it still is "Get Your Wings," man. That was really some fantastic work there that they did, man, on that album. So I miss those days. I miss them. The '70s was so cool. Everybody was cool back then, man. Everything that you did in the 1970s had to look cool. I had long hair back then. I only had long hair because girls liked it. That's the only reason I had long hair. And then, like, in the '90s, they had this movement where guys that didn't like girls had long hair. There's around here. I don't know about everywhere else. I'm not saying all guys who got long hair is gay, but it was a thing around here. So I shaved my head, man. I like girls, man. I shave my head, So no, I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, it was the '90s was like a reprise of the 1970s, man. I love the '90s. It was like a reprise of the '70s, man. But with grunge, you know what I mean? So that was a good thing they did in the '90s. The grunge music. I really loved grunge music. Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Creed, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, all those guys, man. They were just like, I love all those bands, man. They were so good, so good. And you don't hear music like that anymore, man. It's sad. So what should be the next move in rock music? In my opinion, take take the classic rock sound and the grunge sound and combine the two There you go. There's the new next movement in rock, young people. Listen to classic rock and listen to grunge, and then you combine the two sounds. Find a way to combine the two sounds, and that'll be the next movement in rock music. And I love it, man. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah, but as far as like as far as like what I think about music, as far as music goes, the best songwriting in the history of all music, the best songwriting was the late 60s and 70s. That was the best time for music all the way around, even jazz. You had Pat Martino came out with Desperado, and you had these jazz guys, and they were going. Pat Metheny was going strong, and then plus you had all the rock music and stuff. Kansas, you had such diversity of rock. Yeah, Kansas didn't sound one thing like UFO, or UFO didn't sound like Bad Company, or Aerosmith, or none of the bands sounded alike. They all sounded different, man. And guitarists were different too. Jeff Beck had his own thing. He didn't sound like Jimmy Page. He didn't want to. Jimmy didn't want to sound like him. They wanted to be, but yet they were fans of each other. Of each other's playing. So that was the interesting thing about the 1970s. Tony Iommi had a completely different style from everybody else, and I loved his style. It was fantastic. So that was the good time for music, the 1970s. I think the best songwriting went on. The best, you know what I mean? Definitely the best songwriting. I'm not saying they were all the best technical players, but as far as like songwriting and putting music together, they were the best at doing that. Definitely the best at doing that. Um, when I listen to music, I don't always look at how technical something is. I look at songwriting, something that's catchy. Is it catchy? Can I listen to it? Can I enjoy it? I don't care how technically difficult it is. If it's not enjoyable, it could be the most difficult thing in the world to play, but if it don't do it for me, I ain't gonna listen to it, man. You know, one guitar player who really kind of covered all the spectrum was Larry Carlton. I'm still a fan of his. I was always a fan of Larry Carlton because Larry would go from one extreme to the other, and he covered pretty much the entire spectrum of music. You know, People know who Larry Carlton is. He covered just about everything, and he wasn't about showboating all the time. He was about playing music that was catchy, that people could really like dance to and like groove to, and that's what I like to do too, man. I like to do stuff that's groovy, that people can get into, I think that's very important. It doesn't level of difficulty doesn't always mean everything, to me. Definitely when I see a band, I don't want to see just the guitar player up there all the time. All you hear all the time, all through the show. Look at me, look at me. Okay, you can play, man. Now play some music and stop showing off. Damn, man. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Now play some music. You know the fingerboard. You can do fantastic stuff that's out of this world. But can you get with a band and write music that's catchy that everybody loves to listen to, and write songs, man? Don't just get up there and jam all through the damn thing. Right? I never got into that, man. I was like, I want to hear a band that's about the entire band, and working together as a team, and producing music that's really awesome. Steely Dan, I love Steely Dan, man, but you don't see Donald up there just playing solos all the time, man. He sang. He would take solos when it fit with the keyboards. He would do fantastic solos when it fit, but he played music, that just everybody loved to hear, and He'd have the guitar solos. And plus he would do keyboard solos and the drums and the bass. And that's what I like, man. Where an entire band is great. Instead of just one person showing off. So that's what I look for when I go out. If I go out for entertainment, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see just one person up there showing off the whole time. I want to see an entire band that sounds great together, that works in unison to produce music that's enjoyable. Sometimes, man, a song can have maybe two or three chords, but it'd be a fantastic song. And I'll tell you a guy who was great at doing that, taking just a few chords and making a fantastic song out of it, and not really overly complex lead. That was Tom Petty. I was a big fan of Tom Petty, man, because he did that, man. He would just take they would just he just played, at the at a specific level. He wasn't trying to show it. The guitar player for Tom Petty was excellent, man, and he could actually play even more complicated stuff than what he did. But he looked at it like, hey, man, I want to play music. I want to play songs that everybody likes to listen to, man. So that's where I go with music, man. I know I'm getting on here playing jazz and stuff that's very sophisticated and stuff, but I like playing with a band, where the entire band, I'll sit back and just, play rhythm and then when it's my time to do a solo, I'll do a solo, and then I want to come back to rhythm, and, just where it fits, where everything fits like a glove, man. That's the kind of bands I like, where they do everything that fits. It's just perfect, and the entire band shines. That's what I liked about Fleetwood Mac, because Fleetwood Mac had Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, and Christy McVie, three different singers. And when you went to see them, you never got bored with their music, because they would all three of the singers would take turns singing, and they would do stuff. They did different sounding songs all the time, and it was just like nothing was boring. Never they were one of the bands who never got boring. Um, Heart changed their music up so much. They had one basic singer, but they changed their music up so much that they were never boring. You'd hear Barracuda, they'd be playing fast. All of a sudden, they go dog and butterfly, and all that stuff. So they were a great band. I loved Heart. They were really great. You know, I did hate when Roger Fisher left the band though, because he was a fantastic guitar player. Roger Fisher from Heart, he was really good, man, really good guitar player. And I still liked Heart after he left the band, but I liked it better when Roger was with the band, really, because I thought, he just belonged to that band. They just fit together. He was an integral part of the original Heart music. So, kind of like Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Sammy Hagar, man. I love the solo stuff, and I still like Van Halen with Sammy. But I like David Lee Roth better with Van Halen. He's just, I don't know why, man. It's just like, I don't know, just he just had that Van Halen sound or something. I don't know what it was, man. He was just, when he was young. When he was young, he was fantastic. He just had the sound, which Sammy can sing actually higher than David, but the style that Dave had for Van Halen was actually perfect. You know, kind of like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like Black Sabbath with Dio. Now I loved Black Sabbath with Dio. Don't get me wrong, it was very good, but nothing beats Black Sabbath with Ozzy, man. You know, early Black Sabbath with Ozzy. Listen to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, man, and tell me anything Dio did with Black Sabbath can beat that. Nothing Dio did with Black Sabbath could beat that album, man. Nothing. That was such a cool album, man. That Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath album. That's nothing Dio did could beat that. You know, Dio was great, but nothing he did could beat the original Black Sabbath. You know, so it's just that's the way it is with bands. They gotta. Sometimes people get together and they just fit like a glove. Everybody in a band just fits. Their styles work for them. It's just like Led Zeppelin, man. How the hell did you know? that is so strange, man. It's just like Robert Plant was just made for that band, you know, and Jimmy Page and all of them. They were just made to play music together, you know, and it was fantastic music, man. You know, so that's my feelings on that, man. You know, yeah. You're not gonna see bands like that anymore, though. Unfortunately, I would love to see it though. I'd love to see like a young band, young creative band, come up with a way to combine the grunge sound with the classic rock sound. You know, see what happens with that. I think that would they would they would go straight to the top. You know, and not do no goofy shit. Just, you know, just play music. So it's good to see everybody here. Anybody got any comments or anything? Glad you like my music. I really appreciate that. I come on here all the time playing, and I try to, you know, it's different when you have backup music. You can do more music, more things. But because I'm just doing it with it's just me. You know, I have to play stuff that kind of just fits one guitar player and sounds good. You know, because I want to sound good on here. I don't want to come on here and just sound okay. I want to sound good as one guitar player. You know, and it's hard to find music like that. You know, some songs require an entire band to really sound great. You know, so it takes creativity. And I've heard people say, "Well, you changed that song a little bit." And so yeah, I do. I change. Sometimes I have to change the song to suit me as a guitar player because I don't have a backup band. I have to kind of embellish it to make it work. Because otherwise, it's not gonna work. You know, if you play it like the original players. You know, so that's one of the things. Uh, oh wow. Yeah, I've been on here a while. I've been coming on here a while now, and really helps me, man, to come on here and play music. It gets rid of the depression and stuff. Sometimes I get really depressed, and when I come on here and I play music, it makes me feel good, man. You know, so I do it a lot because I get depressed a lot. You know, uh, when I lost my mother, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me, man. It's losing mom. You know, so I kind of really I went into a shell. When I lost mom, I went into a shell, and I really depression. So, you know, and now I'm kind of getting over it. It's been a few years now, and it took me a long time to get over that. You know, to get where I'm halfway normal again when I lost my mother because we were so close. You know, when you live with somebody and you're very close, and then you lose that person, it's like hard to deal with not seeing them anymore. You know, not being able to talk to them anymore. It's very hard. You know, so that's what happened to me for a long time. Oh god. So anybody's got any suggest? I'm gonna try to start doing more requests and stuff, but I'm gonna have to buy a probably next month I'll do it. I'm gonna have to buy more sound effects and stuff because it's not really gonna sound great when you play. Some things you can't play, without the sound effects and make it work. You know what I mean? Like Van Halen, you're not really gonna play Van Halen on it, without distortion and stuff like that. You know, because it's not gonna work, man. It's just gonna, it's not really gonna. I mean, it might sound okay, but it's not gonna. People aren't really gonna get it, man. And I've had people say play ACDC, and I play it clean, and they're like, "Yeah, that's pretty good, buddy." But if I played it, if I had distortion, you gotta get that sound that Angus had, that the band had, and that's hard to do when you're playing. You're not using distortion and stuff like that, so I was hoping to start a movement where other musicians start coming on live and just the rule is, man, the rule is no background music, no bands. It's just you as a musician yourself. Come on and entertain people, man. I want to see more people doing it because it's actually when you do that, it makes a better musician out of you. Get to where you can do that, actually improves your playing. That's one thing I found out, that it's kind of scary sometimes, because when you make any little mistake that you make, people are gonna know it, man, because you don't have that band covering. You know what I mean? A lot of times when I was playing with the band, a lot of times, man, if I did make a mistake, people didn't even notice it, because the keyboard player or the other members of the band would cover it. You know, if I made a little mistake, they'd cover it, and it wasn't even noticeable, man. Even in the recordings, I noticed that. You know, I would be thinking in my mind, I really screwed up there. But I'd listen to the recording and I'd say, wow, you can't even tell where I screwed up, you know, because the keyboards came in and kind of covered it, you know what I mean? So, unless you make really super, 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 super bad mistakes, then it's going to stand out. But if your playing's good, but you just happen to make a little mistake here and there, when you're, oops, yeah, if you make a little mistake here and there, if you're playing with an entire band, a lot of times, like the keyboard player can cover it, the drums and stuff like that, they can cover your, you know, it's not even noticeable. Everything you do when I'm playing here by myself, everything is noticeable. If I'm playing a song and I'm out of tune, you're gonna know it. You'll be able to tell that I'm out of tune. You know what I mean? So that's the hard thing about doing what I'm doing. You know, I think even Larry Carlton would tell you it's a lot more difficult to play without a backup band than it is playing with one. You know, because you know, I seen Larry in the music store on the video, and he made a couple of mistakes. He wasn't playing with a band. He made a couple of mistakes. You get nervous, and you don't have that band to follow or anything, and it's gonna happen. You're gonna make a couple of mistakes, man. Even the best of the best will do it, you know. So it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty much easier. It's easier to play with background music or with a band than it is to come on, you know, and not have anything. You know, just try to entertain people without anything. Yeah, I tell people that, man. You know, you take a fantastic jazz song, but if you don't have that backup band, a lot of times it won't work. You know, because you need that background rhythm to you know, to complete this. You know what I'm talking about, to get the sound that you want. So the songs that I pick when I come on here, man, I have to pick songs that work without background music, and that's not always easy to do, man. I was surprised Josie worked, man, without background music, but that works pretty good. Josie, I like doing that one. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm hoping to get out there and see some bands this year. See some. I know there's a lot of cover bands out there, but even with a cover band, I want to see a band that has like an original sound. I seen this band, they were covering Heart, and this girl, believe it or not, she could sing close to as good as Ann Wilson. Close, close. If she developed her own style and kind of just like put her own twist into it, she would be able to do probably be able to sing as good as Ann. You know, she would have her own in her style. You know what I mean? So that's what I try to encourage, man. Even when people's playing cover music, they should try to embellish that music and kind of put their own thing into it, because they're not the original people who wrote that music. You know, so if they make it work, you know, that's hard to do too sometimes. Like you're covering somebody and you change, make some changes and make it work, but still, you know, maybe do the right lead solo, but add some stuff to it as a guitar. I love doing that, man. I'll take a guitar solo from a rock band. I used to do that all the time, and people loved it. Take a guitar solo and play it the right way first, but after I get done playing it the right way, do my solo and then add my stuff into it, and they like that, you know, because it makes it more original. So, like saying, hey, you know, even when I was playing like in a blues band, we would cover Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'd have people say, well, that doesn't really sound like Stevie, but it's good, you know. And that I was like, thank you. Thank you. I'm not trying to sound exactly like Stevie because Stevie was Stevie. Nobody really can sound exactly like him. There's people that do pretty good though. I don't have a style like him at all, man. My style's nothing like Stevie Ray Vaughan's. But I love what he did. But we have completely different styles, you know. And I've heard people, well, you can't do that, blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Could Jeff Beck copy Jimmy Page to a T? Could Jimmy Page copy Jeff Beck? Could John McLaughlin play exactly like Pat Martino? Could George Benson play like John McLaughlin? You know what I mean? These guitar players, they're not going to cover each other. They have different styles. They have their own thing they're doing. So that's really that's really something that was started this crazy, man. I mean, if somebody comes out with their own style and they sound unique and they still sound good, then that's what you want to do, man. You don't want to just cover somebody and sound exactly like that original person, man. Did Eric Clapton? I'm sure Eric Clapton sounded just like Jimmy Page. That's how he made it big. Not. You know. Um, that's the beauty of music. When people sound different. Frank Gambale, Frank Gambale versus Scott Henderson. Okay, that's the same genre. Who's better? Well, we can't say really who's better because they had completely different styles. Scott Henderson had a completely different style than Frank Gambale. Frank Gambale would beat him. Let me tell you where Frank would beat him. Quick arpeggios, right? Quick arpeggios. But when it comes to soloing, creating jazzy solos that were phenomenal, I would give it to Scott Henderson because Scott Henderson he didn't they're two different styles, man. How do you compare them though? I mean, I don't think either one's better. They just have different styles and they're both great. That's how I look at music, man. You know, and it's unfortunate when some people just think that you have to completely. If you play a song by a band, you have to completely sound like if I play Pride and Joy, I'm not gonna sound like Stevie because my style is so different than his. And if I really wanted to put the time into it and sound close, I could do it. I could do it, but I don't really want to go there because I'm not. That's not my style. I'm a jazz player. I'm not really. I'm not even really a blues player. I play some blues, but I'm not really even a blues player. I'm a jazz player. I don't. But I don't want to sound just like anybody else. I've had people tell me that I sound like Schofield and Pat Metheny sometimes. So Schofield and Pat Metheny. Well, thank you. That's good. Something like them. Something. Not exactly like them. You know, even if I were doing a Pat Metheny cover, I'm not gonna sound exactly like Pat Metheny or Schofield or anybody. The idea is to create a your own sound and make it work, your own style. So that's where I go with music, man. I just try to make things work, you know. So, but I respect everybody, man. If I come on somebody's channel, if I don't like what they're doing, I ain't even gonna say nothing, man. I just won't watch won't watch their video, man. I ain't gonna disrespect them though, because there might be other people that come along and they do like that style, what the guy's doing. So I just don't leave any comment because I'm like, you know, he's doing his thing, he or she's doing their thing, and it's working for him, and it might not work for me. I might not like it, but I respect it because that's their thing. That's what they're doing. Just like Bruce Springsteen never did it for me, but I ain't gonna disrespect the guy because he came up with a way to become famous, and he did make a lot of money, and he did have a lot of fans. So I'm not gonna say he's not good. I'm just gonna say that I don't like his style of music that much. Just being fair, I don't. I think he, I think he was a really good guitar player, but I never felt it. Like Born in the U.S. I never just really never. I just really never liked it too much, man. I mean, I like being American, but I don't really like the song. I don't like the way he sang it. So, but anyway, yeah, That's how I feel about music. Now there was some people who passed me tonight, and they were listening to like a funky rap. It was like a funky rap music. I thought it was great, man. I'm like bobbing my head to it, man, while I was walking. It sounded really good, you know. So I like a little bit of every. I like some rap if it's done right, but I like the rap that's got like a good like a funky, real good funky background to it. Like something like that, like funky rap. I like that. Not just straight rap. Funky rap. Make it work. You know what I mean? Make the music sound good in there, and make it work. So that's any kind of music I listen to. That's what I'm saying. I like it when people make it work. And sometimes people don't know how to make it work. And so I don't know, man. I'm open to all kinds of music. But anyway, I gotta get out of here, guys. There's things I gotta do, man. But thanks for checking me out, man. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you come back and watch my live videos too, man. This turned out really good, man. I really enjoyed doing this music. The music in this video turned out really good, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.